Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, one and all. This is always a pleasure to be with you on Family Time on a Monday afternoon. I am, of course, Neil Campbell, and it's been a while. Every time I take a little sojourn, have you miss me a little bit, and then come back again for another amazing program. We have a wonderful program set for you today. So I'm excited for that. So, how are you doing? So, I look forward to your interactions today. Of course, you can always join us on Facebook and YouTube Live. This is, of course, Family Time. Family Time is about your issues and your relationships. It's your at home family, your community family, and your global family. Family Time is produced by Family Life Ministries, and our aim is to enable healthy families, which will lead to healthy nations. Guess what? Today I have a co host, and her name is Mrs. Tamika Scott Walters. Brand new joining us. Tamika, how are you doing today?
Hi, O'Neill. Happy Monday to you. I am doing blessed and I'm so excited to be here to join you today. Looking forward to this afternoon's program.
Yes, of course. I look forward to our wonderful interaction today. Go ahead and talk to your listeners, man. You knew us, I'll give you the floor.
All right, well, I am Tamika, as you said it, and let me tell you, O'Neill, it is such a blessing to be here with you today. I'm excited, not because it's a Monday. I mean, I don't know if you're a Monday lover on the start of a week, but I'm looking forward to learning and listening today because I mean, back to school has got me thinking a lot. I experienced the back to school traffic today. And so I'm looking forward to another positive component, something else about back to school. But I am a Christian, I am a wife, I am a mother, and I'm looking for opportunities all the time to learn, to grow, and to change. Um, that's just a little bit about me.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So, listen, to all our listeners and viewers, stay with us and please join us on all our platforms. As I said, Facebook and YouTube, which are live, and of course, our Instagram, right? We would love to have you. Now, the new school year has begun, and this is our back to school teachers talk. Now, I'll put it in bold. Back to school teachers talk. That's the show for today. For all our teachers going back to school, we'd like to know what is your biggest concern and how do you plan on dealing with it? Again, the
Yes.
question today is what is your biggest concern and how do you plan on dealing with it? Please WhatsApp your text and voice notes, please no longer than 30 seconds, to 876-997-3125. That's 997-3125. You can also call our studio lines at 968-832-728 to participate. You can also watch us. See, we're giving you every opportunity. You can watch us and comment live on Love 101 Facebook and on YouTube. Listen, we'll be right back with our very special guests, Ramon Davis, Sophia Clark, and Reverend Marsha Lawrence Davids. Please don't go anywhere.
Rata just got better with a new brand Rata bundle on Digicel, Jamaica's #1 LTE network. Serious? With up to 12 gigabytes of end-use data, up to 2,000 minutes for calls, plus dedicated data on Digicel apps, which now includes data for Spotify, Apple Music, and HBO Max. There's no better plan for all your content needs this summer. Say less. Me gonna get a plan up on the My Digicel app. Mr. Rata! Activate a Prime Rata bundle today for as low as $175.
When you need the best premium quality for your home and commercial projects, Berger is the only brand. Beautiful, durable finishes are just a brushstroke or trowel away. Berger Everglow, Berger Royale, and Berger 303 are virtually odorless, fast drying to enjoy that room in no time, and are easy to clean after any mess. And Berger Trowel On protects against harsh tropical weather, no matter the season. Get the boldness of Berger today. Berger for lasting beauty and protection.
It flows through our veins. We need it to live. Get the wrong blood and you could die. But the blood of Jesus is universal. How can red blood, Jesus' blood, wash white as snow? Tuesday, September 13 on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Dr. Wayne West and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic Power of the Blood. That's The Rock, Tuesday, September 13 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are live on Love 101. This is family time. You see that lovely lady beside me? This is what is going to make it special. Tamika is here and she decided to match me in clothing color. We didn't talk, but she decided that because she wants to glean from the experienced host that I am, she decided, Lord, what should I wear? And she said, you know what? And he's going to wear it. The Lord just gave her Holy Spirit just spoke to her and she decided to put on red, right? So she wanted to match and with the host because she's an exceptional co-host. That's what she's gonna be giving today. So thank you, Tamika, for making it happen today in terms of being my exceptionally wonderful co-host. And we're gonna have an amazing time. So of course, as I said before, we're gonna be having an amazing discussion with our amazing teachers and or those that are in education, and we are talking about back to school teacher talk, and our very special guests are Ramon Davis, but brethren, right? I don't even think Ramon knew that I will be hosting, right? Sophia Clark and Reverend Marsha Lawrence Davids. But before we go to them, remember, we want to hear from you. What is your biggest concern, and do you plan on dealing with it? What is your biggest concern, and do you plan on dealing with it? WhatsApp your text and voice notes, no longer than 30 seconds, please, to 997-3125. That's 997-3125. Of course, drop that 876 before the number. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 Facebook and YouTube. Or call the studio lines, 968-8327 or 968-8328 to participate. Of course, 876. Ramon Davis, Sophia Clark, and Reverend Lawrence Davids, our very special guests, are all teachers, and some students somewhere in Jamaica will be facing they'll be facing them, learning one subject or the other. And while they come up one after the other, all right, I'm seeing two starters quick out the blocks, waiting for the third. There it is, the third person on the starting line. So my special guests, how are you all doing?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I'm happy. I'm well. I'm giving thanks. I have a co-host today. Usually I'm flying solo, but not only do I have a co-host, I have a beautiful, God-fearing co-host. Lord, we can't get better than that. So Ramon shaking. The man of God know him thing, and the man said, "Man, know what it's about, right?" As a big man of God, family man, right? And Sophia Clark, are you hearing us? I think Miss Clark is frozen.
Are you hearing us?
I should think she's frozen. Sir Ramon Davis, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I was just giving the ladies an opportunity to go first to say something. So, you know.
Yeah, listen, man. Yeah, man of God know how to do the thing, you know. Let the ladies go first.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. Straight up.
No. I didn't doubt you for a second that you'd know how the protocol.
Well, I'm in the classroom, so I have to also teach it, you know. As I'm doing it, I have to teach what I know.
Hey, don't make them see you miss a beat, you know, because, you know, they will take you on, you know. Sir, how you take on the, how you went before the, you know, they will take you on. Say,
I know.
Well, again, while we wait on Miss Clark, technology, you know how that goes sometimes. I may have to give her a call, but we'll see how that works. But of course, to you, Mrs. Reverend Lawrence Davids, and also it's Mrs. Davids, correct? Mrs. Lawrence Davids, is that correct?
That's
Okay,
correct.
just checking. And Mr. Davis, my brother Raman. This, of course,
Greetings.
is and that's Tamika, my co-host. Tamika, say hi to the wonderful teachers, no, man.
Hello, teachers. How are you doing?
We're doing well.
All right.
Pressing on.
Nice to see you. I wonder how are you feeling about going back to school? Looking forward to your conversation today.
All right.
Definitely.
All right, so let us get straight into it while we await our third wonderful guest, Miss Clark, Sophia Clark. All right, so as I know my brother will allow, firstly, let's get some quick background. Mrs. Lawrence, please tell us a little about yourself. How do you feel about going back to school after what we call COVID? Well, you know, that's how we're still with him, but I mean, the major aspect of it, being out of the classroom and having to do the online. Tell us a little about yourself and get right into how you feel about going back into the classroom. I probably start already, right?
Yes.
Couple days in.
In fact, we started over
A week or so. Yes.
We started planning, the teachers were planning, and then of course the students came in last week for orientation, and then teaching started officially today. And so yes, we're excited, and I can say that there's a bit of mixed emotions. So there's still a little bit of anxiety, but we're working through it. And
Hold
so
on. I'm not going to let it pass there now. Go into that a little bit more. What is that anxiety about? Why feeling that way?
Well, as you said earlier, COVID-19 was there for what, 2 years? And so because of that, and counting, yes. And so because of that, there are a lot of challenges that really have emerged. And so teaching now is not the same. The pupils are not the same. The classroom experience is not the same. And so we have to do a lot to equip ourselves. And we also have to do the necessary research. And sometimes you might just try something and it doesn't work, and you have to wheel and come again.
All right.
Yes.
Stay right there. So, my brother Raman Davis, famous at the TV commercial, famous for music. Right?
Boy,
And his acting wasn't acting because he's a teacher. So that was like bread and butter to him, right? So
I'm telling you.
I'm showing this in. Famous for TV commercial, music, man of music, so exceptionally lyrical, gifted.
I try.
Yeah, he's been very, very modest, but trust me, gifted man of God in many areas. But for you, just like what Mrs. Lawrence said, so a break in terms of what hit us just came out of nowhere, and you were off for a couple years. Had to do the modality of first of all it was strictly online, then of course the duality, and now you're back in the physical. You're not hearing me?
Face.
Not hearing me?
Mr. Davis, are you hearing us?
Oh, look like he had a little challenge as well.
Yes.
See,
All right.
But you had asked me about myself, I don't think I had the chance to say.
No, you never want to tell him about yourself. You catch your afraid so much. Go have to go back and tiptoe into the classroom. You never want to tell him about yourself. I gave you the opportunity. So it's because maybe me bring it that way. So Tamika, could you ask Mrs. Lawrence about herself? Maybe she'll feel.
Absolutely, Miss Lawrence, you're like one of those students that holding back. You don't want to give all the answers at once. So you can raise your hand again, Miss Lawrence. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
In a beautiful red, because it look like it's a theme today, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, I've been a teacher for the last 12 years. And of those 12 years, I've had special responsibility for the co-curricular program at an institution in the corporate area. And in addition to that, I'm also a pastor. I am the assistant pastor at the Portmore Holiness Christian Church. and I'm a mother and a wife of one husband, I may say.
Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Yes, man. And that's pretty much about me.
Wow, wow, wow. So I don't know if we have time to get into all of the hats that you wear, or if you stack them on one on top of the other, because that's a lot. That's a lot that you have on your plate. All right. So while we wait on Sir Ramon to get back online, Sir Davis, and thank you for that introduction. I think we have Sophia Clark on the phone. Miss Clark, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Miss Clark, I God bless you, but I don't have the money to get you a computer at this time. Or I don't know what's happening.
But the connectivity is still an issue.
Oh boy, I can imagine if you are experiencing that. I can imagine what the students and other persons that have the challenges as well, what they're experiencing. So you are literally going through what many are experiencing.
What they are going through, right?
Exactly, exactly. What area are you in, if I may ask?
I am in the Red Hills area.
Okay, Red Hills. Okay. Up in the up into the mountain.
And so, because of the rain, it also affects activity.
Right, that gives more challenge. Yes, understood.
Right. But thanks be to God, we have other modes of getting to
Amen. The good old phone. Still working.
Miss Clark, can you plan this example? You know, this is a hands-on. You know, teachers like to be practical and show examples. So perfect example of a challenge they experience, and here it is. We're living it out live.
And she's overcoming that challenge, right?
Yeah.
Indirectly, we're teaching our children not to give up. You have to find different ways to get through, get what you want.
Find another way.
All right, so go right ahead. Miss Clark, tell us a little about yourself and how have you felt going back to the school setting in terms of the physical space?
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation. Well, I am a country bumpkin, was born in Manchester, and now I live in Kingston. I'm a pastor's child, so I'm a PK. I've been a Christian since I was 14 years old, and I don't think you want to know how old I am now.
Bless the Lord.
Christian journey.
Go right ahead.
Did you ask me something?
No, I just said bless the Lord. Go right ahead.
And now I'm in charge of the spiritual development of other Christians and those who want to come into the fold at my church, Covenant Moravian Church.
Okay.
I'm a mentor. I sit on the board of the Promise Foundation, and recently, last week, Thursday, I became a published author of the anthology of poems, A Yardi Creative, Wisdom's Jamaican Collection. So
congratulations.
In addition to being an educator for almost 20 years, come next year.
Wow. Congratulations. Amazing. Well, guess what? Big published author, we will stick a pin right there, and then we'll pick up where we have left off. When we go to a quick break, we will be right back with our wonderful guests. Will join us, our teachers, and my co-host, of course, with me, Tamika Scott Walters. We'll be right back.
It flows through our veins. We need it to live. Get the wrong blood and you could die. But the blood of Jesus is universal. How can red blood, Jesus' blood, wash white as snow? Tuesday, September 13 on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Dr. Wayne West and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic Power of the Blood. That's The Rock, Tuesday, September 13 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
ticket.
Hush, child. Me no want them see we.
But mommy, is the census takers?
Me not tell them my business.
But mommy, they need information about all the households to help make decisions about where to put things like clinics, stores, and new roads.
So?
Come, mommy. You count, me count, all our count.
Census Day is September 12th. Look out for the national census takers in your community and let them know you count.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on Love 101. Tamika.
Yes, look, we are happy you are here because guess what? We still are. And just so you know, the numbers for the FLM head office in Kingston are 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101. If you are just joining us, we were listening to our educator, Miss Clark, who wears multiple hats. Miss Clark is joining us on the phone, and she was sharing with us her going back to school experience, especially after COVID. Miss Clark.
Yes, Clark? I'm hearing you. Love.
Okay, great. I was wondering if technology was at it again. Miss Clark. So now that you're back in the classroom, tell us a little bit about, your fears and concerns, and you were sharing before. So take us through.
Okay, so the first fear was the type of students would be facing in this new dispensation, because we have to admit that they're not the same set of children. They left us 2 years ago. They came back different with new experiences, new challenges. And so how do you navigate around these new personalities that are before you? That was my biggest fear. And on the administrative side, it's how are the administrators trying to change the atmosphere for these new personalities, because it can't be business as usual. But the resources are not there. We can facilitate these new experiences that they have had coming into the same space that they left 2 years ago. So that's the type of anxiety or fear or concern that I had going into the classroom. But there's also a positive side, the hopefulness that if we work along with the children, because they have solutions in their heads as well, if we work along with them and we try and source resources, we can make it better.
Okay, that's insightful, and thank you for that. But what we want to find out is the COVID situation, because my wife is also a teacher, and she is comfortable in the online space, not only in terms of not having to do the travel. The commute is a piece of work in itself, but also in terms of the children, as she spoke about that change. But so is it that COVID, you think, has changed, or what has to what extent do you think the personalities have changed based on the extended break? Because as you know, there's always a time when children go on break. There's always summer holidays and stuff. So do you think there's something specific that you can identify? And I think I'll ask after you answer the other teachers as well, if there's anything that they specifically could identify that there's some kind of change via the COVID.
Right. So the first thing is that some of them, because they're in certain circumstances, they can go from being very extroverted to introverted due to the COVID situation, because some of them use school as an escape.
Wow.
And so they were more sociable at school. But because of the COVID situation and they were stuck at home, then they became introverted. How do you help them to get out of that shell?
Got you. Wow. All right. Just
going into the home.
All right. So
some of them, they have taken on more adult responsibility. Some of them had to take care of their siblings. Some of them even had to take care of their parents or family members. And so they come back to school not being, what do you call it now? I want to say innocent children, but they're now children who have adult experiences.
Got you. All right, stick a pin right there. Love your points. I don't know if the points are gonna overlap for the others. Let me go to Sir Davis. As he jumped off and was back on.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Come on, that's all right, man. That's how it goes. We understand. So two amazing points, and I completely agree from my standpoint. As I said, I come from a second hand because my wife is a direct teacher, so she has shared that similar experience. What else have you picked up that you can identify as well?
All right, thank you for having me again. I have picked up, as stated just before, pertaining to as you said, the changes with some of the students. And one of the changes that I have picked up is there's a higher level of, they're very energetic in the sense of it's hard for a lot of them to focus. Now, as a grade 6 teacher, you're in grade 6, students are expected to be a little bit more focused, knowing that they have pep to sit and things like that. For many of them, I have seen it where I think they are so accustomed to being online at home, and a lot of them were just on the phones and the tablets. They have this disconnect with knowing that it's time to
even more short.
There you go. Attention span is so short, so you have to be trying to come up with new innovative ways of trying to reach them. And the truth is that for some of them, what used to work is not working, and so you have to really be digging. You have to be going. And the truth is that as a teacher, and I can speak as a grade 6 teacher, you know that there's an exam coming and you have to be preparing them. And I think even just going back to something that was asked about, what are my concerns? One of my concerns is just the fact that some of them are not ready at the stage where they should be. They're not ready. It's almost as if you're trying to carry them forward, but you have to go back to carry them to where they should be. So, I have friends, even in preparing for this program, I've just asked some of my colleagues in other schools, some thoughts that some of the things that they're experiencing is almost the same, where you'll probably have a student in grade 4, grade 5, and they're at a grade 3 level. So you have to, as a teacher, you have to be going back to doing a refresh to carry them to the stage where they should be at the grade, in order to go forward. So almost sometimes it feels as if you've not even moved sometimes, but you have to just keep digging and you have to try and find innovative ways. But there has to be a lot of catching up, or should I say actually going back to introduce them and teach them things that they should have learned before, So that's just some of the things that I have thought about.
Excellent.
Okay, Mr. Davis, that's so interesting. I'm wondering if it is widespread, because we really need them to be settled and ready at that age to do PEP. So I'm wondering, is it a widespread thing? Is it perhaps, the older ones who are at that stage, or it's found across all the grades? Perhaps Miss Lawrence and Miss Clark, you can tell us what grades you teach. And do you find that same experience?
Well, I teach grades 9 to 13 presently. And my own experience is that in addition to the fact that the students are not concentrating, really and truly that existed before the COVID, but with the COVID, certainly that has increased significantly.
Very true.
You can see the challenge that we are facing. I think in addition to that, though, what I have seen is that the grade 9 to 13 students, they struggle a lot with depression coming out of COVID. And I think sometimes we don't recognize how important the school is as an institution of socialization. Because when they come to school, they interact physically interact with their peers, and it's not the same doing it remotely via Zoom or by a conversation on the phone. It's not the same. We are social beings. And so as we interact with each other, that is how we feel a sense of warmth, a sense of affirmation, acceptance. And so that is very important for them. And so when they were in isolation, we can call it that, because they were separated, physically separated from their friends, their teachers, it really led a lot of them to feeling somewhat emotionally unstable. And I know that some of the counselors at my institution, they have mentioned and had to have some intervention because many of the students were reportedly depressed. In fact, when we just started online, the grades were up and running. But as the online period went on and on, we saw a trend of the grades going down, 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 because after a while, they had enough of the Zoom, enough of the Google Classroom, enough of this virtual space, and they really just wanted to be able to hug, touch, feel, you know, that is very important. I think also coming back, there are other things like their conflict resolution skills has gone to the dogs in the sense that being able to talk through a situation, being able to say, okay, I don't agree. You know, it's as though everybody is short-tempered at this stage. And so instead of talking through, we will fight it through sort of situation. And that is one of the impacts, I believe, of COVID.
All right, stick up in right there. It is a minute past hour of 6. We're just getting warmed up on the track, and we're having a great time in this conversation. But we're going to go into a quick break, and then we will be right back with my special guests and also my co-host Tamika and myself, O'Neil Campbell. See you soon.
It flows through our veins. We need it to live. Get the wrong blood and you could die. But the blood of Jesus is universal. How can red blood, Jesus' blood, wash white as snow? Tuesday, September 13 on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Dr. Wayne West and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic Power of the Blood. That's The Rock, Tuesday, September 13 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Get ready for another Testimony Tuesday inside Alive, 1 to 5 with me, Sarah, and the Chirpy One. 2 o'clock will be time for Prayer Blast. More prayer, more power. 2:15 inside the evidence. From Hinduism to Christianity, we refresh your spirit with a powerful, life-changing testimony of Danny Marshall. Then at 3 p.m., we go behind the pulpit of Jamaican-born Pastor Vanessa Pink of the Refuge United Church of God in St. Martin. All this and more will come your way. Testimony Tuesday inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Grace, celebrating 100 years of taste that moves you.
The Time by Grace Foods is...
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are happy to have you join us. We have our special guests with us today, and our teachers are, listen, class is in session. We are learning today. What is your biggest concern, and how do you plan on dealing with it? Before the break, we had our teacher share, and I'm not seeing our teachers just now. Are you hearing?
Well, they're
Yes.
coming
Right
back.
here, right here. Not gone.
Before we get into the second segment, the time we have to give the time of as well, just to ensure that everyone is on the same wavelength. The time is actually 4 minutes past the hour of 6. So the time is gonna go so quickly, and I'm enjoying this every bit of this conversation. Tamika, I know that we're talking to our teachers, but before we pick up with them, is there a personal experience that you would like to share with your situation of having your little ones going back to school?
Oh boy, O'Neill, listen.
Take your
I
time. Take your
have
time.
had so much experience with this whole situation, back to school and kids. But let me tell you, I just want to take a moment to say, teachers, we appreciate you.
That's right.
We appreciate you so much. You see that COVID break, all the parents who never know how important teachers were when we had to keep our own children, that was revelation, I tell you. That right there was revelation. So teachers, we appreciate you. I mean, O'Neill, I like our teachers, I've seen change in my own children behavior and so many other young people who I interact with. You know, sometimes they're more withdrawn. They've been accustomed to being behind a camera and having their cameras turned off. And so the little interaction and conversations that they normally have, no, perhaps they would want to send you a text message instead and not verbalize as much as they used to. So I'm so interested to what the teachers have to say, and I'm listening to get the cues, O'Neill, to see what I can help to work on, because you know it's a relationship we have with our teachers. We have to do our part. So I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, for me, quickly, it's pretty much along the same lines. I'm married to a teacher, so I understand the sacrifices. So I've always been, when I was much younger, I always say, why the teachers don't get the most money? Why the teachers this and that? And they're teaching everybody else, you know, but that's for another day. The program won't end if we get into that. But for me, where my boys are concerned, the attention situation is key that your teachers have brought up. The short span of attention and just getting back into the classroom. One of my sons is in grade 6, and so what Raman spoke about is the same thing. My concern about him being engaged and focused for Pep. I would say, yes, study, and like he's in the book 1 second, the next minute him outside a kickball. I say, hold on, let's study. It's just, you know, the focus. And the other little one going into grade 1, you know, he's at the early stage, but at the same time, you want that matriculation and everything to be sorted. So it's more my 6th grader that my biggest concern is with just being settled and going to where he desires at the end of the day. But enough about me, enough about us. You are the special guests, and so we get right into the next segment. Now, feelings about school in general, it's something that we want to look at. Now, what is, we spoke about, but before we get into that, Miss Clark, we didn't get to ask you, what grade do you teach?
Oh, I teach from grade 8 right up to grade 13. Right now, I don't teach grade 7 and grade 9, but all other grades, I teach them.
Okay, so you specifically decided to skip 2 grades.
Have to go according to what I get.
Understood. All right. So it's amazing the perspectives that you all have brought to the table. Very, very important, very, very critical. And we can only hope that the changes and the challenges that are being faced by our students and our teachers, that at some point things can begin to level off. I'm not sure how or when, but I'm just hopeful that with all the changes that you guys have to make, and literally become communities, so switch and change on a dime, that these things can be working more in your favor than otherwise. All right, so let me start with Mrs. Lawrence. What is so important to you about school, and why have you come into this situation? So basically, it's like your money. Why do you see yourself going into this space? You're teaching the grades you're teaching. What is it that let's put it this way? What do you want to leave? Like when your name is called and you're looking at yourself in terms of a legacy or a marker that you can say, this is Mrs. Lawrence right here. What is it that you want to leave in terms of that impact? And what is the teacher-student and the teacher-parent relationship for you currently? Because I know when it comes to the parents, it can be a challenging. But for you, what has that been like? So one, the legacy that, or how do you see yourself in terms of your place within the school setup, and also the teacher-parent, teacher-student relationship?
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Campbell. Well, I mean, as it relates to purpose, I believe that I'm in the classroom for a time as this for a specific reason, and that is to impact the lives of the future, the lives of the children of this nation. I think that I'm very deliberate in terms of affirming the children, guiding them, and I teach not just academics, but I teach life skills. And of course, at the institution that I'm at, godliness, honesty, integrity is something that we certainly promote. As it relates to parental involvement, this is something that is very important because within the school system, it has to be a partnership because the teacher can't do something and then when the child goes home, it is undone, you know? So there has to be that partnership. I think that I have been blessed to be able to interact with some parents who are very willing, very willing to work with us. Parents are involved in terms of ensuring that the students do their assignments. Parents are involved attending PTA meetings. So it's not just when the children are in trouble that they show up, but they attend the PTA meetings. And my own interaction, even outside of classroom experiences with parents, they really involves them participating in award ceremonies or competitions, and the parents get the chance to cheer them on and so on. And that is so important because it is showing the children that both parents and teachers are interested in their success.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Miss Clark on the telephone there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank
All
you.
right, same questions for you. In that same space, the placement, how you see yourself in that space, and also the teacher, student, and parent interaction for you personally.
Well, everything for me overlaps because my main purpose in life is to love God and love people. So the love that God shares with me, I'd like to share with others, and I love children. So the first thing I'd like children to know that they are loved, and by extension, parents should know, and all other stakeholders at school and those who contribute to school. So values and attitudes very important to me as well. And I try to walk the walk and talk the talk because sometimes the only way our children learn, or one of the major ways our children learn, is by example. So if we want a certain attitude from them, we have to set the example because children live what they learn. Also know that manners takes you through the world. So if we stress on the respect between teacher and student, teacher and teacher, teacher and parent, and teacher and administration, and I dare go further, teacher and Ministry of Education, then I think that foundation of respect and work in unity will really revolutionize our education system. My concern is though that we coming out of COVID, that we need to take a closer look at the curriculum. It can't be business as usual. We can't just stress on academics. During the COVID period, some students became entrepreneurs. They discovered their passion, they discovered their skill, and we have to continue to motivate them and to equip them with the tools to get better or to get certified. Right? So I like our Rev talk about life skills. They have to learn that as well. Because some persons can leave school with 8 subjects and they don't know how to pay a bill, they don't know how to fill out a form, etc. So those are just 2 examples. and to stress the vocational skills in school, right? So,
all right, hold it. I know you're sprinting away to the finish line. Hold on. All right. First, I want to hear from you. I haven't seen any comments, and usually I'm getting some great interactions from our WhatsApp and our Facebook family. So looking forward to your comments. Remember that we want to hear from you. We always look forward to hearing from you because it's extremely critical to get your feedback. What is your biggest concern, and do you plan on dealing with it? We're talking about you in the public, teachers out there, even parents in your own way. Is there, what are your biggest concerns for your children to go back to school, your children, and do you plan, are you a guardian, and how do you plan on dealing with it? We will I tell you the time. We're gonna run to another quick break, and then we're gonna get back and wrap up with our teachers, Ramon Davis, Marshall Lawrence, Sophia Clark, and of course I'm with my special co-host Tamika Scott Walters. We'll be right back.
Hey Campusites, Campus Connection returns Tuesday, September 13th at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. Ensure you don't miss a beat every Tuesday come September 13th with yours truly, Jonathan Fletcher, and my co-host, Anesta Samuels. It's a program where we discuss all things that teachers, students, and parents need to know.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember, this evening it's all about our back to school teachers talk, and we have our teachers with us today, Mr. Ramon Davis, Miss Sophia Clark, and Reverend Marshall Lawrence Davis are chatting with us. Now, Mr. Davis, we heard the insightful comments that were shared by your teammates who wear multiple hats. And so I want to ask the same question of you, sir. What is it that you're expecting to leave in terms of your legacy? What do you want your students to remember Mr. Davis for? And what of the student, parent, and parent-teacher interaction?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I try my best to be a teacher who tries his best to just make an impact, to make the lesson or whatever it is that I'm doing, make it approachable and simple for students to be able to understand it. But because right now I'm at my school, Shortwood, practicing, I am the math teacher for grade 6. And we know that math can be an issue for a lot of students. So I try my best to make it as simple as possible. I make it practical by even just giving the students my own story. Even today, while I was teaching my students, I had to tell them, when I was their age, I was not good at math at all. And I saw like a light come on for some of them and say, but you're the math teacher now. And I told them, I just had to keep pushing. And I tried to make it like that. I tried to be approachable for students to be able to come to me. And I try to leave that as part of my legacy. Just being someone that students are free to come to and speak to. Because I found that the school is an escape for many students. A school is an escape for many students. It's a place where they can go and find a teacher that they can sit down and just talk with. Things about that they can't talk about at home, and they feel more comfortable, and it is a teacher that is able to guide them, and as a teacher should guide them to go to get the right thoughts and guide them in what to do, even to go back to home. But the school is an escape. And not only that, but I do believe that it's not just an escape, but it is such a powerful tool that even as you said earlier, that when the COVID hit, parents understood finally, wow, this is what you guys have been doing. When you have a classroom of 40 students, 50 students, 35 students, and it's you one. At our school, we have something called an ISTEDFOD, which is a big concert. And it helps many students who many of us may overlook. Oh, it's just a quiet student. They're not special. They're not great because they don't give 90% and they don't give 100%. But give them the mic to sing. Give them a skit to act out. Give them something to do, and they shine because, you know, there's a meme that I see online and they say, you know, you see a bunch of different animals and say, to pass the test, you must swim in the bowl. And you have a monkey, you have a dog and all of that. And then you realize that everybody isn't the same. And so I believe that the school has that importance. For the teacher-parent, that is so critical. It is very critical. And for any parent that is right now listening, get in touch with your teacher. Continuously meet up with them, communicate with them. How can I help? What are some tips that I can do? Show that you need help, because you may need help and you might encounter something that works for you and you can communicate it to the teacher. You know, I try and tell all of my students, and I tell my parents, I'm like, listen, YouTube is a tool. Don't just run them off YouTube. Let them work for it. And when they get the time on YouTube, take 10 minutes out of it for yourself and say, 10 minutes is mine. Find a topic that you learned about in school and find a YouTube topic and watch it. And that might help, because I tell them that's what I do with my own child. You know, so the parent interaction is very critical because it helps to build. The child must know that if it's serious at school, it's serious at home. There's nowhere to run away to get a leeway. You know how children will use even parents in home. They need to know it's serious at home, it's serious at school. And that teachers they need to know that there's teamwork between home and school. They need to know that the teamwork makes the dream work.
Before you continue, one of the my thing is, where were you when I needed math help? You see, I never had that thing, so I blame you. But going into that, and the three of you brought up some amazing points and a lot to think about, especially that tip regarding transitioning some time from the YouTube that was watching and lost for hours to kind of bring them back into what the school application and what they were taught. I think one of the other things as well is we as parents need help. So for example, the new way in which sometimes the math is done or some of the subjects are done, it's not the way we did it. So sometimes as interaction in terms of how we can understand. But when we see say, no, so I don't know that working. It's all right. But you go try to figure it out because we're totally lost. So that interaction also helps. But again, we want to look at, and let me go with thank you again, Sir Raman, Mrs. Lawrence, in terms of some of the solutions that you are able to come up with. Your bright minds, you educators you are. What solutions have you been able to come up with, especially with the transition and where you are at now, or what you are planning for this 2022-2023 going forward?
All right, thank you for that. Now, we mentioned earlier that the challenges are many. They include learning gaps. They include the need for re-socialization for the children and so on.
Right.
I think that we have been mentioning some of the solutions already, which is greater parental involvement. That is a must. That partnership must be there. And in fact, I would encourage school administrators to have workshops for parents, because some parents just don't know how to parent, right? Sure. So they need some tips as to what works best, what are some best practices, in order to be able to carry on this thing of parenting. I think too that because there are those learning gaps that exist, because during the COVID, some persons had devices, some didn't have. You may have other situations where one home, you might have one device where 4 children may have to share that said device. And so you will recognize that there are some learning gaps, right? Some persons just went missing, they drop off the radar. And so if there are learning gaps, it means then that as instruction is being carried out, it has to be differentiated instruction. What I mean by that is that you have to assess the students to find out where they are. And in a class of 40, you may have students at different levels within that said class. But with differentiated instruction, having assessed them, you will know how to meet with each child. It also means that there has to be a mentorship program in place. As I said, they need to be re-socialized, so there has to be a mentorship program. Get the alumni involved. Get some past students involved so that they can mentor a boy that is wayward, a girl that is wayward, and so on, to show them that, listen, I made it, you can make it too. I think there is need too for tutoring programs. These tutoring programs can be implemented by the classroom teacher from that level, or it can be implemented from the administrative level by the principal. Listen, I, as a pastor, have to say this: send your children to Sunday school. This when you send them to Sunday school, teachers on the platform, we know the difference between the child that goes to church and the child that does not. We see it being played out in the classroom. Lack of respect for authority. There's a sense sometimes where there isn't a center that is needed. And so as we look for the village to become more involved, because parents can't do it by themselves, allow the church to help you, allow responsible citizens in the community to help you, responsible community members, because together we have to get it going again.
Thank you so much, Miss Lawrence. You really gave us some insights. We really appreciate all the responses, and you have given us so much as parents, tips and tools that will help us in the development of our children. We want to thank you all for being here with us, and seeing. Okay, here with Neil. Do you have any comments on the response that our teachers would have shared?
Well, forgive me for technology jumping in for me as well, but I will have just about a minute left. So we can't touch the 5-year plan, but projection from can you hear Miss Clark? Is Miss Clark still hearing us?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so just in about 30 to 45 seconds, I mean, what projection the last time we spoke about future plans, in about 30 to 30 seconds, what plans do you have projecting for the next couple of years that you can see for your students and for your school at large?
Okay, so I'm an advocate for mental health. So future plans to continue to be an essential worker, a poet who encourages mental health, building capacity for a healthy mind, not only for students, but for my fellow Jamaican citizens. And so I would also ask my fellow educators to have some mental health check-ins with their students, their parents, their colleagues. Because if your mind is not healthy, then you can just imagine what will happen for our future. And of course, we always have to advance our own capacity to help our nation's children, so we continue to grow in technology and to share best practices and do some team teaching. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that puts a wrap on it. Oh my goodness, we need a part 2 and a part 3. All right, thanks for being here with us. If you have any questions of a personal nature or are concerned about a friend or family member, call us at Family Life Ministries. For our center in Portmore at 117 Cecile Avenue, 876-939-7917 is the number. For more information on our services or our counselors in Kingston or other parts of the island, contact our head office at 920-1034 or 926-8101. And appointments can only be made by calling the offices. Otherwise, keep up to date with us on Facebook at FLM Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries, FLM JA.
But wait, O'Neill, before you go, remember our Bible verse for this evening. We leave you with this verse, Romans 8, verse 28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Join us again next week at 5:30 p.m. on Love 101 FM FB, Facebook, YouTube, live via the Love 101 Facebook and YouTube channel for another informative session. Thanks again to our teachers, Mr. Ramon Davis, Miss Sophia Clark, and Reverend Marshall Lawrence Davis. Thanks a lot also to our show producer, Kathy Gale, Open Door Communications, our studio facilitator this evening, Timoy Butler, and of course you. I am Tamika Scott Walters saying good evening on behalf of O'Neill and myself. Stay well, stay safe, stay blessed.
Blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.